What it is, what it do, what it is, lads and ladettes. I'm the Grizz, and welcome back to Yesterday Today. So today we're going to talk about the Night City wire that we had of Cyberpunk 2077, comparing the Xbox One X and the Series X versions. And we're also going to talk about God of War Ragnorok possibly coming to Ps4 and Ps5. More on that in the meat and potatoes, but first, let's get to the appetizers. Well, it appears Nintendo is back in court again for the same issue that they was in last year, because they started giving out free repairs for the JoyCon drift issue, but it appears that it's still ongoing even after releasing new systems, revised versions and everything. And this time the lawsuit is filed in Washington with an expert, and it's been proven that Nintendo was aware of the issue of it being due to wear and tear on the control pad, and Nintendo's not doing the right things about it. So that's what the lawsuit is for, and hopefully Nintendo can come out on top of this, and hopefully all parties concerned, everything is rectified and all done and handled properly. And hopefully with that possible revision coming out in March that's heavily rumored with the Nintendo Switch, hopefully it does completely away with that, because this is on the entire Nintendo Switch family. It's on the original Nintendo Switch, the revised Nintendo Switch, and of course the Nintendo Switch Lite. So we hopefully can get rid of that pretty soon. Well, once again, Assassin's Creed breaks another record, which is not surprising at all, and it's the best-selling game in the franchise, at least for the opening, and the best launch for any Ubisoft game on PC, and it continues to break records. And honestly, I'm glad to know that this game is doing so well. I had to put it off till next year. There was just still too many games coming out this year, and I only plan on getting maybe just 2 more games this year. And I feel like I'll probably be really busy. Once I get a PS5, I'm going to be playing Miles Morales, and I'll probably be done with that a week or so, and then I'll be going to Cyberpunk, and I'll be playing that until next year. I'm pretty sure. And then, so I definitely want to say that I'm glad to hear all of this great stuff about Assassin's Creed Valhalla, and it's really good to know that, of course, it's doing well. But next year, hopefully I can maybe get a steel case version, get the DLC, and actually play through a whole Assassin's Creed game, because this game does appeal to me. It seems to be a bit more gorier, faster paced and fun. I just hope it doesn't really create the Ubisoft fatigue that most of them usually do. Alright, lads and ladettes, now I want to start off the New Day. Shout out to the New Day. Austin Creed definitely tweeted out that him and the rest of the New Day, Kofi Kingston and Big E, formerly known as Big E Langston, is now going to be in the Gears of War 5 multiplayer alongside Batista and Terminator, and I think Sarah Connor. Is a lot going on over there, and yeah, I love the black representation there, you know. So definitely shout out. Had to shout out some black excellence, especially to Austin Creed, my birthday twin, and a great wrestler, and a big avid gamer, and a big fan, and so is the rest of the New Day, and I'm really happy to see this. Shout out to them, and of course Big E is separated from them. They're on Raw. Big E is on SmackDown, going on his singles push right now. So once again, shout out to the New Day and all of the years that we got us some excellent tagging. Alright, lads and ladettes, this is the first time we heard about it in a while, because they weren't supposed to be going back to court, at least in the US, May 2021, but Apple versus Epic definitely is still taking off, and this time in Australia. And basically Tim Sweeney, he filed it, and he said this: it's another set of laws under which Apple's practices are clearly in violation, and another chance to get this issue really thoroughly examined. And also, there's a really big and growing mobile software industry in Australia, a lot of great game developers, and they all suffer dearly by Apple and Google's 30% tax. I doubt there's a single developer in Australia who makes more profit from their own games than Apple and Google make from their games. Now, I don't know, it's starting to seem like maybe, you know, I'm not the guy legally who knows everything legally. I'm not a lawyer or anything, but I don't know, the way that's worded, it seems like Epic is trying to look out for the little guy. I don't know, maybe if you don't agree, let me know down in the comments below what you think about that, but that's what it seems like. And more of this as it develops, because they don't have a court date out here in the US until May. So let's see how this develops overseas in Australia. Alright, lads and ladettes, I want to talk to you about SpiderMan Miles Morales bricking on the PS5. No, literally, quite literally, bricking on the PS5. Rob Sheridan over at from glittergoods.com, he tweeted out the fact that he had a collision with a wall, and then after that, Spider-Man turned into a brick. Yeah, a literal brick as you see here, and it's actually quite a funny glitch. You know, sometimes glitches can be really annoying, and sometimes they can be game breaking. And then when you get glitches like this, it's pretty entertaining. The fact that you just literally see a brick flying around and web slinging around, that's actually really entertaining. All right, lads and ladettes, I want to talk to you about Bud Light. No, I'm not pushing alcoholic beverages on you. I'm talking about the brand and the fact that they made a video game system. Seriously, this is called the BL6, and it's, while it looks like a six-pack, it actually keeps 2 of your beers cold, and it also comes with a controller that appears to be an 8-bit do controller, and it also comes with a projector, 16 gigabytes of space, and 6 games that includes Tekken 7 and Soul Calibur 6. I don't know why this exists. This is really random, but it's pretty funny. I mean, then again, why is KFC making a game system that warms your chicken? I don't know. Sometimes we game and we want to eat and get grease on our controllers, but now I can understand why you would want a cold one with your gaming controller. You just snatch it off the system, take a sip while it's projecting on the wall, take a sip, put it back, it keeps it cool, and you get to go ahead and play back. So this is really interesting. I don't know how far it's going to go, given the fact that it's up for auction for $1,000 for whatever reason. And I don't know, it would be nice that I could have it and just probably just show it on the channel, but I don't really see myself getting this, but it really is really interesting. So shout out to Bud Light for this. Alright, lads and ladettes, so let's talk about Sony and the PlayStation. As far as their stance goes on the $70 price tag on games this generation. Jim Ryan basically said, yeah, it's completely justified. And here's actually an official statement that he actually said. I think the performance of our studios on the PS4 generation was great, but it's a little acknowledged phenomenon that virtually all of the great generation defining games that we published on the PS4 came in the second half of the cycle. And that won't be the case this time around. Now, I definitely agree with him. What basically he's saying is that we put so much quality into these games, we need to make the money back, and you should definitely raise it. A lot of people complain about movie tickets, but sometimes they don't complain about movies, right? You went and you saw Avengers and you enjoyed the movie, right? And then, you know, you movie theaters, they need to make some of this money back because they're just sitting there and they putting stuff out there. They're using the production, all of this stuff just to be able to present it to you, right? Well, same goes with games. Heavy in development, you gotta hire people, basically. And all of this stuff costs a lot of money. I don't know, you know, you got a lot of people who don't play games, who don't really dig in deep or look into the inside baseball, if you will, side of things when it comes to the video game industry. And I definitely have a friend of mine who definitely thinks Ratchet & Clank should be a $20 game, but he also does not know. Now, I'm not saying I directly know, but I also know that these games come with high budget. As far as the tech continues to raise, you're going to have to hire more people familiar with the technology, and these people do not come cheap. This tech does not come cheap, so definitely it warrants a $70 price tag. Also, what I do want to note is the fact that game prices were $60 for 10 years now. Also, there is a thing called sales. So people always complaining about the upgrade is something I don't understand, because if it's a game that you want really bad, buy it for $70 and then don't buy anything else. And if it's a game that you say, all right, I can wait for it to go on sale, because games go on sale all the time, and you go, oh, you know what, $45 down from $70, that's my speed. So definitely, let's just be more logical than and look at all the numbers and all of everything here, as opposed to forming opinions. Just look at the logic and think how much this stuff costs to make. Just think about how they need to make that money back. Right, lads and ladettes, the new cover story for Game Informer this month is Immortals Fenyx Rising, and well, we also got a chance to see the season pass and post-launch content, and well, they actually gave us a nice bit of a roadmap. What I do appreciate is that they are heavily supporting this game, and I feel like that it might get swept under the rug with all of the other releases. But first, let's just go ahead and go into detail on the expansions. And I also got this from IGN, and I will be giving you a bit of a breakdown as it says. But first, there will be Immortals Fenyx Rising, A New God. Second will be Immortals Fenyx Rising, Mists of the Eastern Realm. Immortals Fenyx Rising, The Lost Gods. Now, each of these are actually pretty different from each other in its own way, and I definitely want to give it a quick breakdown. Once again, I'm using it via IGN, and it says the first narrative-based DLC expansion, which is included in Immortals Fenyx Rising Season Pass, is titled A New God, and sees Fenyx embarking on a new new adventure set in the Olympus Palace. Phoenix will need to overcome the trials of Olympians, which takes place in beautifully crafted and challenging the vaults built by the gods in order to join the inner circle of the Pantheon. Alright, that actually sounds cool. It sounds just like more of the story of the original game, and the game itself looks pretty good, and they actually look like they went pretty deep in with the story. But here's where it gets really interesting. Here's a second expansion that's completely different than the base game, and it says, the second expansion is called Myths of Eastern Realm. It is set in Chinese mythology. Furthermore, it will feature a new hero named Ku, who must save mortals in a new mystical land at the frontier of the sky and earth. Ku will have unique fighting style inspired by Chinese martial arts and different abilities from Phoenix. Now, that actually sounds very, very interesting. This is like a spin-off or a sequel or making a whole franchise out of that. And just imagine if everybody played through all of these and really liked each one differently. So because I'm saying that because the third expansion is something completely different as well. Here's what it says. The third and final expansion is called The Lost Gods and also features a new hero named Ash, who was chosen by Phoenix to bring back the Lost Gods. This new adventure will feature a top-down gameplay and all-new brawler combat. This meaning it looks like Zelda Link's Awakening or Diablo, stuff like that, right? Darksiders Genesis. It also says it will also take place on a new mysterious island where players will explore regions inspired by these lost gods to restore balance on Earth. This is actually very creative, and like I said, I really hope that this doesn't get swept under the rug, okay? By the time this game comes out on December 3rd, in a matter of, I want to say 2 months because it started in the end of October, in a matter of 2 months, Ubisoft have released 3, not 1, not 2, but 3 games, and they're all seemingly open world. I think it's a bit more condensed in Phoenix, but it's open world in Assassin's Creed and in Watch Dogs, and I'm hearing that Watch Dogs feels a little bloated, and sometimes I'm hearing that as well about Assassin's Creed, and hopefully stuff isn't a little too rough in Phoenix. It would be really, really good. I'm really excited about this game. I thought it was interesting at first, but then, you know, the style and as you got to see the gameplay, I haven't played the demo on Stadia, but I haven't really heard any bad things about this game yet, and hopefully this game is an 8 or above, and we got another sleeper hit on our hands, and this just sells pretty good numbers, and then maybe we can get a sequel and they can grow upon us, because I see what they're doing here with these expansions, where the first expansion is just a, you know, expansion across the main story, then the second one is maybe a story for a different land, and you can just call it maybe Ku and the mystical creatures of China or something like that, and then the third one you can just make it a smaller game, shorter than $60, and make a Diablo Link's Awakening style action game and make that a game. So that actually sounds pretty interesting, and I can't wait to see what Ubisoft is going to do with this, and I also can't wait to see how much progress and how well this game will be doing. Keep that in mind. Boy, I want to talk to you today about God of War Ragnarok and if or not it may be coming to both PS4 and PS5. So in an interview with Telegraph, Jim Ryan was straight out asked, is it going to be PS5 exclusive or is it going to be cross-gen? And he responded, sorry, I have nothing to say on that right now. And then, of course, everybody just went right off the rails with speculation. Now, given the fact that Horizon Zero Dawn is coming out, and then they later confirmed that it was going to be on PS4 as well, everybody was just like, what's the point of me buying a PS5 if all of these games are also going to be on the PS4? Now, I think it would make sense for it to be on the PS4, maybe especially in the later, because you can see like, oh, I see what it could have done, but then you see the PS5 version, it being the most absolute definitive version of the game, because this game has only taken about 3 years to develop when the last one took 5 years, I want to say, to develop. So they're basically, it's not a full copy and paste, but they also have all of the assets that they're using, and they just got to just add extra stuff to it. Like basically, maybe this is a good way of how creation goes. I'm not 100% sure, but maybe you'll see a certain animation and then you go, hey, maybe we can improve that by adding this, and he adds this, and it's just like paying homage to the original move, but it's just better. Stuff like that. They're just basically improving it, writing a new story, introducing, of course, some new character models and stuff like that, but it's already a set engine, right? So they have all of the assets there. And then also, it's being developed for a PS4 later in the gen, where they fully understand how the technology works. They had 7 years to work with the technology, and now the PS5 is out, and of course, that version would definitely be an upgraded, upscaled version. And I'm pretty sure Sony wouldn't miss this, but a first-party game that would do everything of all of the DualSense features. So yeah, it will be a great version on the PS4 if you haven't had a PS5. And unfortunately, and hopefully everybody who definitely wants a PS5 gets one by the time this game comes out, and we don't have any issues with scalpers or stock shortage anymore. But PS5 will definitely be the definitive version. Of course, there is no disputing that, but I could see why it would also be in the PS4, because it would still have the assets that match some of the PS4 version. So CD Projekt Red put out a new Night City Wire, and this time it's called the Night City Wire Special, and it wanted to showcase the differences between the Xbox One X and the Xbox Series X. And honestly, I don't see a huge difference, because they didn't show side-by-side comparisons of the versions. And I also think that might have something to do with the fact that their next-gen patch for this game isn't coming until next year. And of course, so the Xbox Series X just did a little bit of basic upscaling and everything like that, but it didn't get the huge upgrade that it will that it has. So all of that is coming out for next gen next year, and not right now. So the game actually still looks pretty good. It looks fun, but they didn't actually show any combat in the Xbox Series X version for some reason. It was all shown in the Xbox One X. But regardless, December 10th, this game will be picked up. This game will be spoken about, and this game will be had and have fun with. So I'm praying that I get a chance to get us a PS5 very soon, so I can go ahead and play through Spider-Man Miles Morales and add that to my completed list for 2020, so then I can get into Cyberpunk and give that all my precious time. Alright, lads and lads, thank you so much for tuning in. That's it for today. If you go ahead and hit the like button if you haven't already. If not, hit the dislike. It's all good. And if you're new here, please hit that red subscribe button and scroll up and make sure you put on all of those notifications so you know when your boy is posting. I post every day, Monday to Friday at 9 a.m. so you can wake up and get ready to get started with the workday with some of that biggest gaming news you may have missed from yesterday today. Lads and lads, thank you so much for watching once again. And this video is finito.